And welcome to Jackson Reed Ultimate Streaming. My name is Eric Bensky. With me is Joe Harris on June 7th, 2024 for the second pool game of the High School National Invitational Tournament here in Loves Park, Illinois at the Mercy Health Sports Score 2 complex near Rockford, Illinois. The Tigers are 1-0. They will be playing. They are 5th seeded. They will be playing the 16th seeded but two-time defending national champion Lone Peak team out of Utah. They lost their first game to 4th seeded Edina by a score of approximately 13-7. The Tigers won on Universe 10-9 against Nathan Hale out of Seattle. Tigers will open with the disc. Their O-line will be Nico, Harrison, Matt, Gabe, Dre, Peter, and Marcus. And here's the pull. And it's a good one. Dre will catch it short of the end zone and throws to Peter. Temperature 71 degrees, winds 19 miles per hour, gusts to 33. Nico ahead to Matt. The winds are going from the near side to the far, slightly from left to right. And Dre with the catch in the middle, approaching midfield. Now across midfield, looks for Marcus, but it goes through his hands as he's diving, and that's a turn. Tigers turned over their first two possessions of the first game, managed to come back and ultimately win. Harrison on the disc here. Matt on the disc. It's a matchup D for the Tigers as Lone Peak moves forward quickly. Nico on the disc. Harrison covering the player back, and there is a turn.
Stop that, Zach. Stop that. Nice. Good job, Zach. Shut up. Hey,
Tigers get it back. Peter will pick up the disc along the near sideline.
nice, Eli.
And he is looking deep for Gabe. He's behind the defense. Can he get to the disc, though? No. The wind is moving in that direction, and took it a little further than he wanted. Certainly flips the field. It was a very good idea from Peter. He had Gabe, but couldn't quite control it. And it is almost broken up by Gabe. Comes to the near sideline. Harrison ordinarily plays back, but they're playing a man, and he's on a player who is all over the place. Lone Peak resets. Peter on the disc now. Comes up, and the throw is low, but it is discussion of whether it was down or not. And they reset. Couldn't decide, apparently, couldn't agree on whether the disc was trapped. And Matt for Gabe for the Tigers. Matt to Gabe. After the D by Matt, and the score is 1-0 Tigers. D-line for the Tigers with a 1-0 lead is Tyler, Roger, Ben, Gabe, Finn, Bobby, and Zach. And the Tigers are in a zone. Zach is deep. Finn, Ben, Tyler on the cup. Roger, Bobby, and Nico intermediate. Nearly a broken up disc there. Lone Peak repeating, now going deep along the sideline. It is caught on the sideline, short of the end zone. Terrific diving catch by the Lone Peak player. Now resets.
Find a body, Finn. Finn, find someone. Yeah, reset behind you.
Another reset. Fluttering disc is caught by number 83. Comes across to 11. And he is looking deep for the end zone, and beautiful throw, but it goes through the hands of the receiver. Sort of it was not quite a blade, but it had a lot of angle to that disc and very hard, and the Lone Peak player could not handle it. So the Tigers have their first defensive turn of the game. On their first defensive possession, Nico goes to Roger. Roger looking for Zach, who makes the contested catch. Who will flick it across to Nico. Nico ahead to Finn. Nice catch against good D. He'll go ahead to Zach. Catches it slightly behind him. He'll go ahead to, I believe that's Bobby. And it's a quick turn. But Nathan Hale, Lone Peak turns it back.
Try and get it over here.
That was Tyler on the turn before. The disc came out of his hand funny. And the Tigers will pick it up and start again from their own end line. Goal line. Nico with the disc. Finds Roger. Roger into the middle to Bobby. Bobby ahead. Good catch by Tyler in the middle, and he is looking deep for Ben. The wind has taken it. Anybody's disc at this point, and it is off the deflection. Now to Zach. He looks ahead to Nico. Nico finds Zach. Is he in? No. And now he finds Ben. Zach to Ben. That is a break for the Tigers. So the opposite of the way, almost the opposite of the way the first game started, where the Tigers fell behind 2-0. They were broken twice in that game. Here they get a hold and a break, neither of them clean, but a 2-0 lead nonetheless. And we're back. 2-0 Tiger lead. They're up a break early. Defensive line for Jackson Reed will be Benson, Daniel, Gabe, Tyler, Marcus, Zach, and Zane. Tyler with the pull. He'll have the wind behind him, not so much at his back as at his right shoulder blade. And here's the pull. Good hang time, and lands just short of the end zone on the far sideline. Good pull by Tyler. Tigers in yet another zone. They've been playing most of today. Zane, Benson are on the cup. Zach is deep. Tyler, Marcus, and Gabe in the middle. Daniel on the cup as well. Series of resets by Lone Peak, and then a fumble. And the Tigers get the turn. Marcus with the disc in very deep territory. Good chance for the Tigers to get a break here. And he throws it into the end zone. That's going to be anybody's disc if it stays in play. It does not. And the Tigers turn it back. Golden opportunity for the Tigers missed there as the wind seemed to get a hold of that disc and carry it out of the end zone. The wind is moving in that direction. In gusts, though, so you don't really know whether it's going to come out or not. Gusts are up to 33 miles an hour. And it's tapped in. Same defense as before the turn. Zane, Daniel, and Benson on the cup. Here's a blade up forward. Now they've got a man deep. Zach trying to gain ground. Can he get there? No. Beautiful catch by the Lone Peak player.
Nice, crazy eyes. Nice, Zach.
And a drop.
Let's go. We're good, boys. Let's go, D.
Unforced error by Lone Peak. Benson with the catch from Marcus. He's ahead to Tyler. Nice throw by Benson. After making the nice catch, Tyler gives to Marcus in the middle of the field. He finds Gabe in the red zone.
No point, no point.
He will reset to Marcus. Marcus resets to Gabe, giving some ground. Now he looks for the end zone. And a leaping catch by Zach! And if I'm not mistaken, by Gabe. It's leaping catch by Gabe.
No,
maybe.
It's Zach with a hat.
It was Zach. He lost his hat. It was a leaping catch by Zach from Gabe, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? Either way, it's a break.
Who threw that? Gabe to Zach?
Maybe Gabe. But
It was either Gabe or Marcus.
I'm just going to say Gabe.
Zane, who threw that?
Jay, who threw that?
Gabe. Nice work, guys.
To Zach, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sorry.
Three 3-0 Tigers. They've got two breaks now. And the D-line will be Ben, Eli, Nico, Leo, Roger, Peter, and Zach. Roger with the pull. Lands short, but gets a good roll. Very good roll. And the defending national champions are trying to get on the board. Lost a lot of players from their two-time national championship teams. Now they're moving forward against the Jackson Reed zone. Leo, Ben, Peter on the cup. Zach deep. Now Leo drops back. Ben and Eli on the cup. Head along the far sideline. Peter there. Eli taking away the reset. And swings it across. Very good catch on the Blady throw by number 21. He gets it forward now on the doorstep for Lone Peak. And he makes a nice throw into the end zone. That's the score. And it is 3-1 Jackson Reed after the clean hold by Lone Peak. And we're back. The score is 3-1 Jackson Reed over Lone Peak. The offensive line for the Tigers will be Dre, Gavin, Marcus, Matt, Harrison, Peter, and Gabe. It's a very short pull, but a very good roll. Finally stopped by Gabe, picked up by Peter. Just the second offensive possession for the Tigers. Marcus gets it, and he's looking deep immediately for Gabe, and it's going to be knocked down easily. The wind caught that. And that's a turn. Inside. Now the Tigers are in a matchup D.
Hey, White, come on, let's stand over again.
Gavin on the disc at the moment. Now Matt guarding the disc. Head along the sideline, and it is dropped by Lone Peak. That's a turn for the Tigers, their fourth defensive turn of the game. Excuse me, their fourth defensive turn of the game. They've converted two already. Now Matt along the near sideline. He finds Gabe, nice catch, good body control. He finds Harrison deep, and that's a score. Gabe to Harrison.
Benson, Harrison! Ben Harrison!
4-1 on the hold. 4-1 the score on the hold for the Tigers. And we're set 4-1 Jackson Reed. D-line will be Ben, Finn, Jack, Nico, Bobby, Tyler, and Zach. Tyler on the pull. Lone Peak is ready. There's the pull. Very nice one, arcing across the field. Picked up just short of the goal line. Tigers in his zone. Finn, Bobby, Ben on the cup. Zach deep. Jack and Nico intermediate, and comes forward. Nice throw by Lone Peak. Cross midfield now for the Knights. Here they reset back across, and then they go forward past midfield.
Keep them there, boys.
We'll take that.
Cup remains. Patient play by Lone Peak.
No behind, no behind. No behind, middle. Time middle.
Fluttery reset. Falls harmlessly, and that's a turn for the Tigers.
Let's go.
Nico with the disc.
Zach, you have Zach.
Late in the stall, Zach makes the catch, coming to the disc, now along the far sideline. He'll reset to Nico. Nico swings across to Finn. Finn resets to Nico. Nico into the middle to Tyler. Tyler with the flick to Finn. Finn to Nico. Not a lot of movement. Nico for the end zone, and falls between Zach and Ben. Not sure who that was intended for.
Nico, way back. Way back.
That's a turn. Nico deep now, as Lone Peak is at midfield. Throw to the middle, falls incomplete, and that's a turn. Second of the point for the Tigers. Nico will pick it up. He'll have Ben behind him. Finn cuts to the middle, now goes deep. Instead a reset to Ben. Ben trying to reset to Nico, and does, who comes forward to Tyler. Tyler is looking deep for Zach. The wind's going to catch it though, and it's going to be a jump over the Lone Peak defender. Now Zach with a jump ball for Finn. He makes a break for the Tigers. Zach to Finn, and it's 5-1. We're back after the Lone Peak timeout. They're trailing 5-1 in 3 breaks. The D-line for the Tigers will be Daniel, Bernard, Gabe, Rex, Benson. Benson, Roger, and Tyler. Tyler on the pull, which is a beautiful one.
Nice ball. Here we go.
And another zone for the Tigers. Bernard, Daniel, and Benson on the cup. Tyler deep. Gabe, Roger, and Rex intermediate. Reset by Lone Peak. Here they get it ahead, but they have a drop. And another break chance for Jackson Reed. Roger picks up the disc. He has Gabe behind him. Instead, he goes forward to Tyler. Tyler looking for Benson. Break. Tyler to Benson, and the score is Jackson Reed 6, Lone Peak 1. It's got a Nico, it looks like, huh? And we're on 6-1. Jackson Reed with the lead over the 2-time defending national champions. D-line will be Nico on the pull with Eli, Gavin, Leo, Quinn, Peter, and Zane along with him.
I did do that. Yeah,
And here's the pull into the wind. Hangs up nicely. Picked up by Lone Peak. Zane on the disc. Matchup D for the Tigers. Finally, it appears. They move it forward. And a flick to the end zone and caught. No, not caught. Excuse me. It was dropped by the Lone Peak player. He was there, but had trouble reeling in the bladey throw. And Nico will bring it up to the goal line. He'll have Peter behind him, who he finds. He goes to Quinn along the sideline, but it's too far for him. And that's turned right back. Matchup D, Quinn on the disc. Now Peter. Peter looking for the end zone, Lone Peak looking for the end zone, and they find it, and that's a hold for them. 6-2 the score. 22, Jackson Reed. They're up 4 breaks. Just their 3rd offensive point right now. The line will be Dre, Gabe, Harrison, Marcus, Matt, Peter, and Bobby. The wind is picked up. The sun has gone behind the cloud. And here's the pull. And it's a beautiful pull. Arcing across, caught by Peter in the corner just in front of his own end zone. He'll reset, swing it to Dre, who will swing it to Marcus. Harrison running deep. Conversation between Marcus and the defender, possibly about the amount of room he was given, possibly about a travel call, but it's tapped back in. Gives to Dre. Dre will hand it back to Marcus. Marcus can't find anybody, but he'll reset to Gabe. Gabe, a low throw, caught by Peter, who will reset to Dre. Come to Marcus along the near side, who goes forward to Bobby, who can't quite corral it, and that's a turn.
Wait. Oh, it's an injury, I think.
Appears to be an injury for the Lone Peak player. He just grabbed it. He's on his hands and knees. He just put his hand on his right hamstring briefly. It was away from the action. And again, now he's on his back grabbing his right hamstring, so that's trying to stretch it. He'll be helped to his feet by his teammates and coaching staff and actually carried off the field. So Lone Peak will substitute. The Tigers will not. It will leave the offensive line on the field for the defense, as they now have to defend the turn. Lone Peak will have the disc. Well, actually, it turns out maybe there was a foul, as Jackson Reed is taking it back. So the Tigers will retain possession. Dre with the disc. Dre will reset to Peter. Peter back to Marcus. Marcus hands forward to Dre. Against the Lone Peak zone. Patient play by Jackson Reed, who Marcus receives it. Now comes to Peter along the near side, and it is thrown to Gabe, who could not control it. It was behind him. Peter then tried to catch the deflection, and after discussion, that's going to be a turn. Lone Peak looking for the end zone. Everyone sort of stopped, and it's a turn. Strange series of events here at Mercy Health Sports Score 2, but the result of which is the Tigers' offensive line has the disc back with a 6-2 lead, and they will start pretty much where they started at the beginning of the point, near their own end zone, as it swung to Gabe along the near sideline. He will reset to Marcus, who will go along the sideline to Harrison, and it is broken up by Lone Peak. Carried more than Harrison expected, I think, but then Lone Peak immediately turns it back. The wind is picking up. It is very gusty and very strong. Peter has it now. He'll reset to Gabe, ahead to Dre, and even that short throw almost got away from him because of the wind. Dre will reset to Peter. Every throw an adventure. Lone Peak in a zone. Peter looking along the sideline for Gabe, and he had him, but Bobby, my mistake, dropped it. Would have been a nice advance. Harrison now on the disc. The Tigers are in a man D.
Low hands, Harrison. Low hands, low hands.
Resets. Gabe on the disc. Good catch on the low throw by the Lone Peak player, guarded by Dre. Now ahead, and there's a drop. Unforced error. Marcus now has it. Gives to Dre. Tigers are across midfield. Very disjointed point. Marcus comes to Matt, and he drops it. You don't see that very often. Now Lone Peak has it again. Comes up along the sideline with a ballerina catch by number 25 for Lone Peak. And he and Matt are going to talk about whether he had the 1 foot that he had down was inbounds or not. And it's not contested that he did. Acrobatic, certainly. And he resets. Harrison on the disc. Here's a deep throw now, going back 425, and it is falling incomplete. That is the 4th turn for Lone Peak. Matt has it now, gives up to Dre. Head to Gabe along the sideline. He'll go into the middle, but he throws it behind Marcus, and he's down. Marcus is down. He reached back for that throw. Not sure if it's a shoulder. He seems to be his right shoulder is bothering him. He's going to come out.
Here we go, Zach.
Be replaced by Zach. So we'll see how Marcus is. Marcus, the national team representative for Jackson Reed. And the Tigers will try to get their 5th turn of the point. This is their point, so Lone Peak trying to get its first break. Matt on the disc. Now Harrison on the disc after the reset. Lone Peak at midfield. The wind takes that out of control, but it is caught nicely by Bybee, number 57 for Lone Peak, who is guarded by Bobby. Bobby on Bybee, who resets it. Dre on the player, who swings it across and forward across midfield, guarded by Peter. He'll reset back into their backfield. And now a flick, which the wind picks up, and it's going to be anyone's disc. Can Harrison get it? It is knocked away by Matt. Gives to Dre, caught by Peter. Looking for Dre, makes a beautiful catch along the sideline, who is now trying for Bobby in the end zone. Can he get to it? No. The 6th turn of the point for the Tigers. This has been their longest point of the day, either game. Each team has turned it 6 times this point, so the Tigers have it back on offense. Marcus came out this point. Peter ahead to Zach near the end zone. Best position yet for Jackson Reed on this possession. Zach is in a bit of a corner here, trying to find an outlet, and he gets it back to Dre as the outlet. He's got Matt behind him. Goes forward, and Peter can't make the catch. The 7th turn of the point for Jackson Reed. point that no one wants to win with the wind picking up. I mentioned Marcus Lee went out in the middle of this point with an apparent shoulder injury. He is on the sideline, has his hands above his head, so hopefully that means he's got full range of motion. Cheering on his team, barking out instructions. Lone Peak going into a cross breeze. Matchup D for the Tigers. And a good advance there, up, but it was dropped. Now the Tigers have it back again. Gabe to Matt. Matt ahead to Gabe. Gabe ahead to Bobby, who mistimes his jump, can't catch it. And that is the 8th turn for the Tigers on this point alone. And a diving bid by Zach with the interception. He gives to Peter. Peter on the doorstep now. He's got Matt behind him. And he throws it to Zach, who makes a dive for it. Did he catch it? It appeared to be a catch, but there may be a call on the throw. And that's a score, and that's bookends for Zach. A diving D and then a diving catch. And after a long point, Zach from Dre. And the Tigers get a hard-earned hold.
We're live.
7-2 Tigers. Tyler with the pull. He'll have Ben, Finn, Benson, Gavin, Nico, and Roger on the D-line with him. Tigers have a 7-2 lead, hoping to extend that into halftime. And they're in a zone. Benson, Ben, and Finn on the cup. Nico deep. Excuse me, Tyler deep. Nico, Roger, and Gavin in the middle.
You only got right hand, Raj. Right hand,
Lone
Raj.
Peak across midfield.
All middle, Raj.
Moving forward nicely. Good swing to number 11. Their talented handler 11, who now is throwing deep in the end zone to a wide open receiver who makes a juggling catch. Beautiful play. And that's a clean hold for Lone Peak. 7-3 the score. And we're back. Score is 7-3 Jackson Reed. They're up 4 breaks to 0. And the best news is that on the offensive line is Marcus, who came out the last offensive point with a apparent shoulder injury, but he is back out there now. So that's good news for the Tigers. Joining him on the O-line will be Dre, Gabe, Nico, Matt, Harrison, and Peter. So the familiar offensive line for the Tigers is back out there. And a terrific pull with an even better roll, aided by the wind, and Tigers have a long way to go as Peter hits it ahead to Marcus, makes a nice catch, and flick falls incomplete for a turn.
Turn again.
But they get it back right away. Peter now looking deep for Harrison. Gabe also in the neighborhood. Will either of them get it? No, as the wind is playing all sorts of tricks on the disc. And there's a drop on the blade to the Lone Peak player. He was wide open. That's an unforced error. Peter will pick it up in good field position for the Tigers. He'll give to Marcus on the reset, who will look for Matt in the end zone. Harrison also there, and he can't catch it. Excellent throw by Marcus. Uncharacteristic drop from Harrison. You don't know, the wind may have gusted it, moved it just enough at the last second to a different part of his hand than he was expecting it. But Lone Peak will have it again. 3 turns already on this point. The Tigers had 8 turns on their previous offensive point, which they wound up getting a hold on. That's certainly the most turns they've had on any point this season, offense or defense, I think it's safe to say.
I mean, I'm hearing that NC State's kind of
Dre on the disc. The Tigers are in a match, and the wind is playing havoc with this, and is broken up by Peter. Nice D by Peter. Peter has the disc. He's got Marcus behind him. He's well defended. Peter can't get it to him. Now he does. As the Tigers retreat against the Lone Peak zone. Marcus ahead to Dre, ahead to Matt, ahead to Dre. Dre in the middle of the field. Comes across to Marcus. Tries to find Matt. Catch by Matt on the high release throw by Marcus. And that will give the Tigers an 8-3 lead at the half. 5-minute break for halftime. We'll be back after that with the Tigers ahead 8-3. And we are back for the second half of this second pool game of the 2024 High School National Invitation Tournament. Fifth seeded Jackson Reed Tigers playing the two-time defending champion 16th seeded Lone Peak Knights. The Tigers lead 8-3, getting 4 turns to none in the first half. They will start on D. Ben, Bobby, Daniel, Finn, Nico, Roger, and Zach. Roger has the disc for the pull. And here is the pull, which is bladed, and it will roll across and actually forward now. Knocked down by Daniel, who now goes back for try to make the D, and it is thrown away. And the disc is bounding away into the different part of this Mercy Health Sports Score 2 complex as the wind took the disc both in the air and on the ground. And it looks like Bernard is going to retrieve it on the far end of the soccer goals in the valley. We'll bring it up to Nico as the wind is gusting. Nico is looking for Zach, couldn't find him. Good D by Lone Peak. And then that throw was intended for Roger, but missed the mark. And a quick score for Lone Peak. That is a hold. And the score is 8-4. Eight to 4 Tigers here in the second half. Here in the second half, we've got an O-line of Dre, Harrison, Marcus, Matt, Gabe, Peter, and Zach. And here's the pull. Low, strong pull. Picked up by Marcus on the hop. He gives to Peter, who returns it to Marcus. Lone Peak in a zone. Marcus talking with the defender, probably about the amount of room he's being given. Now he'll hand back to Peter, who will give ahead to, or across to Dre, who resets to Marcus. Marcus looking ahead, nice sliding catch by Harrison in the middle of the field at midfield. He'll return it to Marcus, who will give ahead to Dre. Dre to Marcus. He'll swing it to Peter, fluttering disc, good catch by Peter. As the wind is really picking up here in Greater Rockford. Marcus has it now. He's looking for Zach deep, and the wind picks it up and takes it away from him. Zach thought he was there, but the wind gave it a gust, and it just got a little over his head. That's a turn. It'll be a chance for Lone Peak to get its first break of the game. They desperately need one and then a few more. And they will be starting at their own goal line. Good opportunity for the Tigers there. Marcus saw that he had Zach open, and on a different day that's a score, but not with that wind gust. Tigers are in a zone. They haven't been playing a lot of zone on offense today. When I say it's a zone, I take it back. It's actually a matchup D. And here's a deep throw to no one. Marcus will try to retrieve it as it rolls to the far sideline. He'll pass it ahead for Gabe, but it's over his head. And that's a turn. Very hard to connect on the deep throws in these conditions. Harrison on the disc, and deep throw there works for Lone Peak along the far sideline. Marcus on the disc. And here's a throw for the end zone. And Gabe tries to deflect it and does. That's a D for Gabe. Nice play. Tigers have it back. This is their offensive point. They'll be starting from their own corner. Peter with the disc. Wind is really gusting now. And there's a conversation among some of the players, but now it's tapped in. Peter gives ground to Dre in the end zone, who finds Marcus. Callahan territory. Marcus looking for Zach, who dives and makes a good diving catch. With an advance he gives to Matt, who catches it on a knee. Tigers are out from the shadow of their own, really out from in their own end zone. Gabe hands it off to Matt, who hands it off to Marcus. Who gives to Gabe. Throws it across to Matt. Resets to Gabe. And Gabe hands it to Marcus, who was not expecting it. And that's a turn. And Lone Peak will call a timeout. They've got their best chance yet for a break, and they want to talk about it, set up a play, something that'll work in this wind. They trail 8-4 in 4 breaks.
Not even close to feeling like
Back after the Lone Peak timeout. They have the disc, looking for their first break of the game. Bybee with the disc, guarded by Marcus. Stack in the end zone for Lone Peak. They all run to the far side, and the disc comes to the near side and is caught by Peter. there is a foul called. It's an interesting play. 5 Lone Peak players were lined up, stacked in the end zone. They all ran toward the far side, and the disc went to the left, came back as the players returned to their position, and Peter had a chance for a play, but there was apparently a foul on it. So now Bybee has it back where they started. Marcus on the disc. Now Dre. Throw toward the corner of the end zone, falls incomplete and out of bounds, and that is a turn for the Tigers. So the timeout does not yield a point for Lone Peak. Dre has it in the corner now, and he is looking deep. If nothing else, so Zach's going to try to catch it. He can't. He gets a little bit of a roll, and that's not the worst thing that could have happened right there. Good as a punt, as they would say in football. Harrison on the disc. Throw comes across on a swing. Good catch by Bybee. Guarded by Dre. He'll now flick it across. Matt almost gets the D, but can't quite. And then it gets passed in front of Zach. Along the far side, resets to Bybee. Bybee guarded by Dre. Wind is really picking up. Scoreboard's been knocked over twice within the last 20 seconds. And there is a drop by Lone Peak. 4th turn of the point for them. Dre has it. He'll give to Peter, who will give to Gabe. Gabe looking for Marcus, who retreats, almost makes a leaping catch, but cannot. 5th turn of the point for the Tigers, and that was almost the 5th turn for Lone Peak, but it was caught. But it's intercepted by Peter. Reset to Gabe. He's looking for Matt on the reset and finds him, but giving a lot of ground these last couple throws. Now cross to Dre, who's looking for Marcus, who makes a diving catch, beautiful catch with the sore shoulder, and now he goes along the sideline to Zach and forward. Beautiful throw by Marcus, and Zach gets it ahead to Peter, and now the Tigers are in business. Peter going across. Can he find Gabe? No, not quite. He had Gabe open. Could not connect. Good idea, and the deep throw from Lone Peak goes out of play. And the Tigers will get it back. This is their 0 point. They've had a couple of very long offensive points, which is uncharacteristic for them, but they have not played in this kind of wind really all season. Peter with the disc now. He's got Dre behind him, and he's looking for Dre and finds him. Dre will reset to Marcus on the swing. He'll come ahead to Matt. Nice catch in the middle. Ahead to Gabe. He's got it. Gabe ahead to Matt, who drops it. So Lone Peak has it after the 7th turn of the point for the Tigers offense. They had an 8-turn point in the first half that they wound up winning. Here's a deep throw now. They've got a man, but he can't get to it. And the Tigers will get it back. Matt with the disc, resets to Marcus, tries to swing it across, but that's going to fall incomplete. And now Lone Peak almost drops it. It goes through one player's hands, but it caught by a second one. The question is, was he in bounds when he caught it? And that's what they're going to talk about over there. It was a beautiful reaction play by the Lone Peak player regardless. And they're discussing whether he had a foot in bounds or not. Certainly can't tell from where we are. And it appears to be an uncontested catch. After the discussion, Peter on the disc along the far sideline. Here's a reset attempt, and good catch by Bybee. Dre on him. He sends it across to 12, guarded by Zach, who will throw for the end zone, and it is incomplete. They just inches away from the first turn of the game against the Tigers. Now they'll come across, and it is broken up by Lone Peak. That is 9 turns on the point for Jackson Reed. Lone Peak on the doorstep. And the worm burner on the throw from Bybee. Each team has turned it over 9 times, and here comes a long throw looking for Harrison. He's not going to get it. And Lone Peak has it at midfield. Get it ahead. They've had a good point going into the wind. They've really been on the Tigers' side of the field most of the time. Swing over here to 3. He's got plenty of room. Gets it ahead. A lot of tired players, and Lone Peak is now on the doorstep. Here's a throw to the middle, and his second D of the point. He gets it ahead to Matt, ahead to Harrison. He's got Zach in the middle, who gives to Dre, ahead to Gabe. Gabe is now looking for Harrison, who is wide open and makes the catch. Gabe to Harrison after the spectacular D by Peter, and that is a hard-earned hold by the Tigers to take a 9-4 lead.
On, ready, go! It's just that one, it's one on the high side.
And broken up by Finn. Beautiful block by Finn. Roger will pick it up for the Tigers. Defense makes a leaping catch. Great play by Finn. He gives back to scores to Finn. That's bookends for Finn. That was Tyler to Finn. Tyler to Finn. Bookends for Finn, and that is a break for the Tigers. Tigers will be Harrison, Bernard, Roger, Gavin, Finn, Rex, and Leo. Roger on the pull. And it's a nice pull by Leo gets the zone. There's Finn, Bernard, Rex, Roger deep. Harrison deep. Roger, Leo, and Gavin in the middle. Anchor troops.
Trap it!
Far sideline.
Gavin in, Gavin. Right. Oh, good try. Elias there. Yeah, that's your pocket, Gavin in.
Up!
Yeah, Roger, find a body, Roger.
And nice catch by the lone peak player.
Raj, that's all you.
Guarded by Bernard.
Yeah, Rex. It's wide, Rex. It's wide.
Rex left.
Ground now coming forward. That's going to fall though, and that's going to be a turn.
Good work, Leo. Leo, other player.
Moves you over to
Let's go.
pick it up.
Right back, Finn.
He's got it with Finn behind him.
Nice.
He'll give to Finn. Who will swing it over to Gavin. Roger.
Okay, back here,
He says to Finn. Gives to Gavin. Gives to Roger. Roger's in no hurry. Gives the zone. Nice pass up to Leo. From Roger.
Yes,
Back to Gavin. To Roger.
This side.
Gives to Finn.
Crashes.
Finn to Gavin.
Crash.
Nice job. Some folks who don't often handle.
Alright, back home side.
Cross to Gavin. Misses it. And turn. As the soft cap goes off.
Roger, what we talked about! As called! Still out in Earthing as soon as he does this!
Roger with the disc.
Roger, as called!
For Bernard, but he's not going to be able to get it. But Rex does. Nice job of Rex coming back to the disc, but then he throws it behind Leo. And deep throw by Peak is falls. Catch. Roger to Gavin. Gavin looking deep instead comes across to Bernard.
Stay there!
Bernard will be sent to Gavin. Across to Roger. Now giving up to Leo. Leo with the flip up to Harrison. Now the Tigers are into Lone Peak territory for the first time at this point.
Roger, swing!
Back to Roger.
Swing!
Roger swings it to Gavin.
One more!
Gavin ahead to Rex. Rex to Bernard. Bernard to Rex for the score! And the Tigers! Bernard to Rex. A beautiful point for the Tigers. Getting some new players into the scoring column, and the score is now 12-5. Jackson lead. Soft cap has gone off. The first team to 13 to win. It's game point for the Tigers. In fact, they got 8 points.
Bobby.
Sorry.
And Tyler.
Here's the pull from Tyler. He's got Benson, Ben, Gabe, Bobby, Daniel, and Eli with him.
Let's go, boys. No run. Hey, left hand.
Benson, Ben, Gabe, Bobby, Daniel, Eli, and Tyler on the D-line for the Tigers. It is game point for them. They lead 12-5. The soft cap has gone off prior to the last point. So the next time Jackson Reed scores, they will win. And here's a throw into the end zone for Lone Peak, but it falls incomplete. And the Tigers will have a chance for the break and the win, a win that would put them into the championship bracket tomorrow, regardless of what happens in their final game, and would put Lone Peak on the brink of potential elimination after defending their title last year, 2 years ago, successfully last year. Gabe with the disc to Ben. Ben resets to Gabe against the Lone Peak zone. Gives to Tyler. Tyler across to Daniel. Daniel misses Ben, and that's a turn. Good field position for Lone Peak with the high release and catch, and that is a hold for Lone Peak. 12-6 the score, and the O-line will be back on for the Tigers. Second game point for the Tigers. Their offensive line with a 12-6 lead will be Dre, Harrison, Marcus, Matt, Peter, Nico, and Gabe. And here's the pull from Lone Peak, which is a bouncing, rolling pull, and it's tapped down by Dre, who gives ahead to Marcus. Marcus to Dre. Dre resets to Marcus on a fluttering short throw. He'll have a throw to Gabe, which he mistimes the catch, but Harrison comes back for it. Beautiful play by Harrison. He'll give to Nico. Nico back to Gabe. We'll reset to Peter and give to Marcus. Marcus looks for Gabe, who finds Matt for the score, and that will do it. Gabe to Matt. And the Jackson Reed Tigers have defeated the two-time defending champion Lone Peak Knights by a score of 13-7. That will be good enough to get the Tigers into the championship bracket tomorrow, but first they have a winner-take-all game for the pool against Edina coming up in just a few minutes. That will be streamed on Ultiworld. So the next time we see you, maybe tomorrow, maybe never. But thanks for watching this broadcast. Once again, the final From Mercy Health Sports Score 2 in Loves Park, Illinois, outside Rockford, the Jackson Reed Tigers, 5th ranked, 7. The 16th seeded Lone Peak Knights, the 5th seeded Jackson Reed Tigers, 13. The 16th seeded Lone Peak Knights, 7. Thank you for watching. This is Eric Bensky with Joe Harris signing off. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
You want to change the score?